Welcome to Offensive, where we're good for about 5 minutes a season, just like JJ McCarthy. So we've had a wild weekend of NFL week dose. Okay, tears, cheers, all the things, fears. If you're a Vikings fan, we're gonna review and go around and talk about our favorite games from the weekend in this first segment of Weekend Roundup with Chief.
Yesterday was a fantastic day. It was almost record-setting up until Sunday Night Football. It was the second most points that had been scored in NFL history on a Sunday. So, of course, that meant that there was going to be a clunker on Sunday night that was going to be basically all field goals until they said, okay, go on through so we can try to score 16 points. But a lot of excitement. Offenses didn't look quite as clean as they did in week one overall, but there was some real fireworks out there. So, Derek, what do you have any apologies for any fan bases out there?
I'm not apologizing to anybody. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, I'm taking my victory lap here to kick off the show.
Yeah. No, I literally picked the Colts to finish with like a top 5 draft pick. Now, there's a lot of games left, but I got to tell you, after the first 2 games, they look a heck of a lot better than I thought they would. I thought Daniel Jones was toast. It just goes to show you how bad Anthony Richardson is, I guess, because they look really good.
They have not really punted yet at all.
And this is Denver.
NFL record.
And I realize it's early in the season, but Denver was good last year, and they got better. So at least on defense, at least that's the theory. Now, defense back and forth can have a little bit of variation, but they pretty much did what they want on Denver. Jonathan Taylor was running all over them. Daniel Jones is making good plays. So, like, yeah, Colts, dude, I'm interested now, okay? I still don't know how good you are, but I know you're not bad. So that's a good sign. So that was the
Daniel
first
Jones is a top 4 quarterback right now for EPA.
I mean, Indiana Jones is a real thing. It's happening. It's happening.
He's a number 2 quarterback in a 6-point TD league for our league.
I know.
So.
That's insane. Anyone who kept Daniel Jones on their team, you're an idiot, but now you're a genius. So
well, did you see who the 2 passing leaders are?
For yardage,
it's Russell Wilson.
Russ and Daniel Jones.
Russ and Daniel Jones. It's week 2, everybody. Don't freak out, okay? Don't freak out.
That's a part of the fun, though.
Man, it's been crazy. No wonder I'm 0-2 in fantasy. Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. All right. So here's my other thing too that I noticed this weekend. So I've got Joe Burrow on my fantasy team. Of course, he gets hurt because that's what happens to me. But I've got Browning, his backup, who came in through 3 interceptions. But dude, the Bengals won, and they're 2-0, and they are 2 of the ugliest wins I've ever seen. But you know what? 2 wins are 2 wins. And
they usually start slow. So for them, this is amazing.
I think with Browning in there, I mean, they're not going to win as many games as they should, but I feel like Browning's going to win them a couple.
What if they win more games than they did last year with him in? They could.
I think they should. Honestly, Browning, if he goes 500, let's say he plays 8 games, right? Because Joe Burrow's going to be out roughly 3 months, maybe 2 months. We'll see. So let's say he plays 10 or 11 games and he wins 5 or 6 of those. That's 7 wins. Joe Burrow comes back for the last 5 games. If he wins 3 or 4 of those, I mean, they could definitely get in the playoffs. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think the Bengals still have a shot here.
They're going to be hanging around.
Yeah, and they should not trade for Kirk Cousins either, by the way.
I heard a rough stat, though, on the footballers. There's been 25 players that have had this surgery on turf toe in a season. 25 of them, none of them have come back that season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And 5 of them had to walk away. 5 of them weren't able to come back from it. Obviously, Joe's young enough to where he's going to be able to come back, but it's
right. And
3 months might be an aggressive timeline.
I think he does less cutting. I mean, he's running around trying to get out in the pocket, but his speed and agility isn't necessarily like his go-to. So
with that line,
a quarterback might be able to navigate that kind of injury a little better. But dude, Joe's been injured a lot. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Maybe they should get some offensive linemen over there.
Maybe.
Well, I also want to say, look at the other side of that game. The Bengals were down by 7. Their backup comes in and he throws 3 interceptions, and they still come back to beat the Jags.
Yeah.
Way to go, Trevor.
Well, I mean, the Jags put up some points. It's not like they did terrible. It's just
Trevor likes throwing picks in the end zone. That's all I got to say.
Dude, the Bengals offense is still good. I mean, what did Chase have? 17 targets, 14 receptions, and like 168 yards. Like,
he's always open.
You still can't cover Jamar Chase.
He's always open.
So, yeah, I mean, dude, Go Bengals. I want to see the Bengals still make the playoffs, even if it is with Browning. So let's see what happens. All right. So on to you, Hype. What'd you like this weekend?
So the Eagles and the Chiefs are beatable. Watching that game, the Chiefs' only offense, even though they have played two pretty decent teams, Chiefs' only offense is Patrick Mahomes basically scrambling and throwing desperation throws for his life. Now, he is good at those things. He is good at, like, you know, every time he's like, oh, the game's going to be over, and he throws like a 45-yard bomb, some guy's randomly wide open, right? It happens a lot. But I don't think the Chiefs and the Eagles are like an echelon above people at this point. I think the Eagles are also beatable. Like, even their D-line didn't even play that well for the Eagles. The Eagles didn't grade out that well. Barkley didn't even play that well. Maybe it's just an off game for the Eagles. But I watched that game and I look at all the analysis of it, and they just didn't look like Super Bowl teams to me. Like, either of them did in that game, really. And sometimes that happens early in the season, and maybe later in the season it'll be better. But who on the Chiefs of their weapons really scares anybody? Okay, maybe Xavier or whatever, isn't it? Whatever, the fast guy a little bit
Xavier
when he comes back.
He's on your squad, son. Don't hate.
He's on my team, but I'd never play him because he is so hit or miss. So that's the whole point. Is like there's even Kelsey's dropping easy passes now and stuff and making mistakes, even though, you know, quote unquote, he's not thinking about Happy Gilmore or whatever. I'm pretty sure he was thinking about, you know, somebody, but Taylor, but the Eagles and Chiefs game, none of that scares me at all in any possible way. If I'm playing against them, you know, maybe the Eagles just had an off game, but I think that the Eagle is wide open for who's going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
The Chiefs defense, the Chiefs cornerbacks even graded really well against the Eagles receivers. The Eagles receivers are not getting any. How are AJ Brown and these guys not getting 100 yards a game? Is there some like juju going on or something? I don't know what it is, but like the Eagles offense, this is the theory that somebody has, is that Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. He's a great running guy. He's a great scrambler, but how in the world, when you have two like wide receiver one, maybe one of the top three receivers in the league, and another guy who's good, you can't throw the ball at all. Like, what's happening there? So
coordinator matters.
Well,
coordinators do matter.
But dude, Jalen Hurts had 3,200 yards last year. He did not have a lot of passing yards. That's not his game. Yeah. Like, dude, playoff Jalen Hurts is a different guy than regular season Jalen Hurts. Like, regular season Jalen Hurts is an above average quarterback that runs really well. Like you said, in the playoffs, he somehow turns it on and finds a way. But like, yeah, he was like 25th last year or 26th last year in like total passing yards, and he played every game. It was, that's just not what he does until they play the Chiefs, apparently. So, which I'm fine with. But here's, dude. Okay, can I say something else about this game? Patrick Mahomes is on pace to rush for 1,000 yards, okay? and pass for 2,000. So yeah, it's not looking good. And Kelsey should catch that. He's a Hall of Famer. But I gotta say, if you watch the replay, Patrick Mahomes puts it far and out and down. Like, that's not an accurate pass that close to the goal line. Like, Patrick also should have put that. Like, there's about 1.5 feet where that ball should have been here, and that's an easy touchdown. Now, Kelsey should still catch it. His hands hit it. He's a Hall of Famer. But that was not a great pass. So there's some part of that's on Patrick as well. That's not 100% Kelsey, because Kelsey had to reach, and he reached out and it just hit his hand in the wrong spot, because it's in an awkward spot for him to catch it. It's not where he should be catching it, which is here. So just saying, thanks for throwing that, Patrick. That was a great play.
Well, their mystique's falling apart. They're just having lots of mistakes, and they could clean it up a little bit. But the thing is that, like, yeah, they are good at making these like little clutch plays. But other than that, like, they don't scare anybody. And last year they won all those games mostly because their defense was elite. Their defense was super good and would just keep them in games all the time. But this year, I don't think that's the case anymore.
They were 9-0 in 1-score games last year, I want to say. Does that sound right? I feel like just off the top of my head, it was almost 9 or 10
every game
games.
was close, I think.
They were winning all the close games. Now they're losing them. Dude, that stuff tends to balance out. Remember the Vikings 3 years ago when they won like 7 or 8 1-score games, and then they lost 7 1-score games? Like, that stuff evens out, man.
Raiders going to win the division.
That was when they lost to Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
they're like 13-3 that year. And my wife and her entire family, like, they're the playoffs are coming, Giants are coming. They're like, no, have you watched us?
Yeah. All right. Well, we've talked enough about those two teams. Chief, what'd you like this weekend, man?
Cowboys, baby.
Cowboys.
If you want to play fantasy football, go for a team that has no defense.
Dude,
Go for a team that gets rid of their best pass rusher. It's a beautiful thing.
But what's
Now-
going on with George Pickens? He's like wide receiver 4 now, I think, on the team.
dude, and I sat him this week, so I was like, oh, the Giants defense is good. I don't need to
Yeah.
play George Pickens, and he, of course, did perfectly well. So
Right.
whatever.
But he's still his
Yeah.
targets. He's still the fourth receiver on the team between two other guys, the tight
Yeah,
end,
the
another
tight
tight
end.
end, then George Pickens.
Yeah. Well, you got to throw to Ferguson. I mean, Barry Alvarez Jr., baby. Like, you got to throw to Ferguson.
Fergie's
right?
going to be a top 7 or 8 tight end this year. Now.
Yeah, he's been good. He was hurt last year, and so, but he was a top 10.
But like
tight
you
end the year
said, just
before
be on a
that.
team with the most volume in the history of the league, and you'll be good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, if you got Dallas players on your fantasy team, any offensive player, put them in. Javonte Williams is like top 5 quarterback, or running back, excuse me. Dak's probably the lowest right now, just because he hasn't thrown as many touchdowns.
And
But
dude, the Giants were torching the Cowboys defense. Diggs and all these guys that are
Yes.
supposed to be good, former all
Yes.
pros,
Mhm.
like they're just getting torched. Like the Cowboys defense
Bland.
can't stop anyone.
dude, yeah, it was when Russell Wilson like looks like a Hall of Famer right now in this stage in his career. Like, there's something wrong with your defense. Like 400.
He looked like 2014
yards.
Russell when he came back
Dude,
against the Packers, even though we hate that
seriously.
game and don't talk about it, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, that is what it
But
looked like.
Do you,
So
do you know
yikes.
what Cowboy cornerback rated the best yesterday?
Which
Is
one?
one that the Bears let go. Flute said, "Oh, we're going
That's
to take it with me."
exactly.
So it wasn't the All Star. So Ryan Post was like, "Here you go," because I've let
Why
my
would we need
affections
this
for
guy?
Ryan Post go. Notice
That won't-
before, yeah,
that
it's
shows
like
you
they
how
only
bad
did
their
3. They
secondary
only did.
is.
Yeah, they only did 3 passes at this man, and he had a really good rating. Meanwhile, we'll get into it later. But
Yeah, we'll get into the Bears
best
later.
the best DB for Dallas was the guy who the Bears let go for
The
nothing.
guy
The
who
Bears-
Ryan Poles gave to him.
Yeah, the Bears scrapped, and they can't stop anybody.